first time, we welcome you to Segra Field in Leesburg, Virginia, and Loudoun County, where tonight Loudoun United, in its inaugural season, hosts the inaugural match as Charlotte Independents ride into town. It's an exciting night for everyone involved. A highly anticipated night is finally here. Josh Eastern, Devin Kerr with you for this USL Championship matchup. The opening night at Segra Field, and it's been a long time coming.
The pride that each and every player is going to have walking through those doors for the first time is going to be second to none. Ryan Martin telling us that just yesterday they had the opportunity to come and check the venue out. But now, most importantly, time to get back to work. They're going to take on a very talented Charlotte Independents squad. But I like the mix that they have. They have a mix of a little bit of youth and experience. You get guys like Orlando Sinclair, who are very young, making their way into this starting 11. Some other ones like Gordon Wild, Kyle Murphy, who, yeah, they've gotten some experience at the top level, but still trying to find their way on the professional circuit. And then namesakes like Carlos Alvarez, who have experienced the highest of highs, trying to find his way back into form. A great mix in the middle of the midfield to help lead this squad going forward.
Well, we'll see if that group of player can put it in the back of the net. On the other side for Charlotte Independents, 2 straight losses, but before that, they were in decent form.
It's got to be one of the biggest takeaways. So not a lot of happiness in the Charlotte Independents world. Jim McGinnis gets fired back on June 12th. They were coming off of a draw. What do they do? Rattle 7 more results in a row. 4-0-4 in an 8-game span. And yes, they're coming off back-to-back losses. But let's take a look at those unbeaten runs. They are on some serious company in the Eastern Conference. You are looking at 6 teams in general, only one of them outside of the playoff line. That's the Charlotte Independents. So a good job of making pace, but now it's time. When you get into these games, these are 6-point swings with about 10 to 12 games to go for this team in the East. You got to find a way to close out 3 points.
And Loudoun will have to make up some games down the stretch. They have less games played than most, but tonight they hope it's a memorable night. They open up Segra Field, but will Charlotte Independents notch their first road win of the season? Lineups and first kick coming up next on ESPN+. Back at Segra Field, tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Segra, and tonight's lineups are brought to you by National Conference Center as the teams take to the pitch for the first time at Segra Field. Here tonight, we will start with the home side in Loudoun United. One change to their 11.
And for Ryan Martin, he's trying to make sure that he continues the positive progression for what this squad has been able to do recently. Not necessarily happy with last match out against Atlanta United 2. There were some positive talking points. That one change comes in the likes of Moses Nyman in the middle of the field next to Antonio Bustamante. You and I were talking about this coming in, where I thought the movement would be from. Obviously at the center back position, Nelson Martinez will rotate back in due to the yellow card accumulation for Colin Verfurth, but I said he has to keep at least 4 or 5 going forward in that attack. He's done exactly that, especially in the outside backs of Jacob Green and Connor Presley. Feel like they're still lacking the balance a little bit, but really liked what I've seen out of Presley on the right-hand side. You take a look at Charlotte Independence. What will the visitors do? Well, Mike Jeffries, he's going to make 4 changes. One, most importantly, Brandon Miller back in between the pipes. Valentin Sabella gets the start on the left side. Jorge Herrera will drop in under Nicky Jackson. Nicky Jackson was not at his best last match out. They really lost that presence in the number 9 up top. Got to find a way to get him more involved and keep an eye on the right-hand side. Isaac Enking, this is a guy, a New England Revolution homegrown player, was actually loaned to the Hartford team earlier this year. Did not get any repetitions, went back to the Revolution. He has appeared for them in general. However, that was back in 2018. He has no professional appearances for any squad this year. So what will he do with his chance out on the right-hand side?
So a night of firsts across the board. Enki getting his first appearance tonight for Charlotte. But tonight, the first look at Segra Field. It will be Loudoun United in their home reds. And it'll be Charlotte Independence in their blues. Red on blue always looks good to the eye. And we will get set to go here. An exciting night in Loudoun County. And Jorge Herrera standing over it. And he will have the first kick. And we are underway at Segra Field for the first time. It's Loudoun United and it's Charlotte Independence coming to you tonight from Leesburg, Virginia. It is Loudoun United coming off a 4-2 loss to Atlanta United 2. Gordon Wild scored in that match along with an own goal. On the other side, Charlotte Independence, a 1-0 loss at home to Louisville City. So both teams looking to bounce back. And for Loudoun United, the start of a ton of home games down the stretch in this season.
They're one of the few teams in the league that unfortunately had that misbalance. Hartford Athletic was the other one. Played 12 of their first 16 games away from home, right around half the season. And it gives you an idea of the mental toughness that you've seen over that time frame. To be able to go through a stretch like that and still remain relevant in the Eastern Conference standings, quite a difficult thing to do. Just as Hartford Athletic, only 16 points for them, 19 for Loudoun, but still within striking distance of a playoff appearance, and that's the most important thing. Remember, we always talk about points in the years past, how many it's going to take to get in. The magic number for the Eastern Conference has been right around 50, but that was when they had 8. We jumped to 10 teams this year with the play-in game, so the final 2, really going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Everybody's sitting right around 10, 15 games left in their schedules.
Taken away there by Herrera, but quickly won back by the home side. We're talking with Ryan Martin this week, basically calling his team nomads for the past 3 months. He's trying to keep a sense of normalcy coming into this match. They played in big venues, played at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indy. But they're just trying to get back to normal here. 12 of their next 16 games will be at home, including a stretch of 5 games from September 25th to October 9th. It's crazy, we're already talking about September and October, but we are getting into the latter half of this season. So it makes this game here tonight so important for two sides that are right there on the cusp of maybe cracking that top 10. There's Gordon Wild on the ball. Back in the DMV area, the Maryland Terrapin himself. Ball sprayed wide. Wild takes it down, but he left too early. The flag goes up.
He's a fun one to watch, and how that relationship will play out between he, Carlos Alvarez, and Orlando Sinclair. A lot of rotation. All 3 of those guys can legitimately play out on the wing, but down in the middle. And it was quite interesting to see how things played out for Gordon Wild. He was released with Atlanta United after they decided to bring in Mo Adams. They needed to free up a roster spot. So he comes out, thought maybe he might actually go back to the Charleston Battery because he had been loaned there before under Mike Anhauser. That wasn't the case. DC United pounced on him. And now an opportunity for him to continue his career on. And I feel like he's really just been lacking the regular opportunities. He had broken into a couple 23-mans, but recently was actually in a multitude of 18-man rosters for Frank DeBoer's squad, but wasn't able to get onto the pitch. Thought maybe that was the time where he was going to get his opportunities, but instead just comes in another former Red.
He was a goal-scoring machine at the University of Maryland for Sasho Saravsky. Now trying to apply his attacking principles here for Loudoun United. As it's Loudoun gaining possession on the ball here in the early goings. Let's take a look at tonight's injury report brought to you by Ortho Virginia. No injuries for Loudoun United and just one for the roadside tonight. So it's Nyman fighting for it. The flag waves. And a foul there on the youngster. Nyman making his 5th start, just 15 years old. DC United Academy. Prize prospect is Nyman. Brandon Miller to put it back in play. It's a lineup tonight for Charlotte Independence without Alex Martinez along with Enzo Martinez. Alex Martinez picking up a red card in the last match. It's Presley charging into the area, takes it on, and on a hop right into the hands of Brandon Miller. But we've seen the versatility from Connor Presley this season, and he's showing it here early.
That's one of the things where the progression of his experience as a pro is starting to get much better. With San Antonio FC, saw him so many a time, especially in the attacking role in the outside midfield position, where he would push himself down into the final thirds and whip some great service across. But he's really become much more versatile with his ability to cut in and challenge people in that action. Now, when that space is being occupied, can somebody then rotate out? So if the strike's not on, does he have support once they push into the final third?
We'll keep an eye on him tonight from his right back position. Loudoun United, a lot of time on the ball here early. It's wide, here's Presley again. Trying to find a window to cross it. There's Gordon Wild now. Switch of the field now for Loudoun. Look to get a cross in. It's right at Brandon Miller, who's been busy during the first 6 minutes. Valentin Sabella on the ball. Trying to get it forward. Maybe something brewing here. A good job tracking back in defense by Hawkins. There's Nicky Jackson there, making that run. And a good ball played through by Sabella. Sabella making a name for himself in the US Open Cup this year for the Florida Soccer Soldiers. And signing with Charlotte Independent shortly after. Bustamante. Now it's Wild. Being swarmed by blue jerseys. He keeps possession. Takes the shot on and it's blocked. Herrera tries to come away with it, but Nyman gets to it. Loudoun dictating the pace early, and this one out for a goal kick.
The Independents struggling in the middle of the field so far to account for all the pressure being pumped in there. Gordon Wild has been out on this right side with Carlos Alvarez playing in the 10. And then exactly the rotation that we talked about, where Wild will come inside. Moses Nyman, Bustamante, they have no problem whatsoever being that pivot man in the midfield, where they're not always going to sit deep playing as a 6 or an 8. They'll come out, venture into a much higher offensive role and start to overload these back lines going forward. So you'll start to see 4, 5, 6 in red shirts starting to occupy space. Just can they take advantage of it?
Loudoun United missing Colin Verfurth tonight due to yellow card accumulation, and slotting in is Nelson Martinez, who himself is 1 yellow card away from a suspension. Now here's Presley. Harold is making a run. Presley back to his left, curling, but just missing wide already. Presley into the attack from his right back position.
Another good look from Connor Presley. Problem is, takes 1 too many touches. Prior to that cutback, he took a second one out in front of him. If he pulls it across his body on the first time, he has the opportunity to go with power. That's the much better look going forward for him. You already saw in the first one, great strength when he does release the ball. Unfortunately, the first chance was at Brandon Miller, and this one just outside of that far post.
Have to like what you see out of Presley here in the early goings, though, if you're Loudoun United.
The other thing you have to keep in the back of your mind if you're Connor Presley is the past 2 times you've gotten that chance. If they're going to give you the space, of course, take it. But now it becomes a chess match of sorts as well. So when you're running downhill at Abdoulaye Mensali, he's now going to go, okay, wait, the last 2 times he's cut in on that big left foot of his, he's going to second guess that. That'll keep the space for Gordon Wild down on the right. You can knock it down into the channel because most likely the defender is going to over account for what he's already seen.
Some pressure being shown at the back there as Charlotte have to concede possession here. Now it's Presley on the near side once again. He's been active in this match. Just 9 minutes in. Gordon Wild as well has seen some time on the ball. Loudoun United trying to return to their form that they saw in the match against Louisville City. A 3-0 win at Audi Field. And taken away, Herrera now looking for Jackson. And a chance here for Charlotte to get out and run. Mensali now trying to get it wide for Sabella. It was Jackson who slipped in the middle. Didn't matter, the cross was never coming. Cleared away by Martinez. The only opportunities early on in this match for Charlotte have been on the counterattack. As fans settle in into this first night at Segra Field. Slipped inside for Sabella. The cross in has to be dealt with. It's kept in play at the end line, but now cleared for a throw-in. Sabella to take the throw-in now. Presley quick to pounce on it. And now one back here by Loudoun. Maybe a counterattack if they can get it right. The pass slowed up, looking for Orlando Sinclair. Sinclair with 2 goals and an assist this season. Part of that 4-headed monster for this Loudoun United attack that we featured in the pregame. Played through. Sent back for Miller, who has to get rid of it quickly. There's Sabella once again. Can't get by Presley, and it's out for another throw-in. Last 5 matches for Loudoun United. 1-3-1. That win against Louisville City. Those losses coming against Atlanta, Indy, and North Carolina. Got that draw against St. Louis as well. But most of this season has been away from home. Now they come here to Segra Field. Can he get on a roll down the back stretch of this season as it's played wide now? Maybe something here for Charlotte. Cross into the middle. Here's Jackson taking it on. And it just goes wide. One of the better attacking opportunities we've seen from Charlotte Independence tonight.
This is well done by Nicky Jackson to compose himself right inside the top of the 18. He did have Jorge Herrera with the shout behind him. Had a lot more momentum behind him. And just keep the idea behind the thought of Nicky Jackson going forward. We said wanted to get the ball out in space in front of him, but every time he's tracked back so far, he's losing his footing. Maybe an equipment issue. Have a conversation with guys on the sideline just to keep a look with this new surface. He's had a few footing errors going forward so far.
It's a new surface for everybody involved here tonight. Loudoun United getting a chance to train on it for the first time yesterday. The first time this field has really been used, aside from Loudoun United's training, and I guess filming some footage as well for advertisements on social media. As it's played wide once again. A race for it. It'll go out. It will be a throw-in here for Charlotte. There's Taku getting up into the attack. Taku now to the end line. Cross in. It's cut out by Nyman. And another throw-in. Similar position here for Charlotte. Nice night for soccer here in Leesburg. Sun setting on this inaugural night here at Segra Field. In the middle now, Charlotte Independence, a shot and a diving save. The Leesburg, Virginia native Callie Brown, who went to Loudoun County High School, led Virginia to a title in 2014. And a save here.
Our referee lets Luis Guardia, lets him play on at the tail end of this. There is a whack coming on the backside of Isaac Anking. Does a good job to still get something off. You can see the goalkeeper just struggling with the trailing of the light just in the distance. Keep an eye there as the sun sets on the field. It's the only area right now that is possibly going to give the players some trouble. Callie Brown with a good save, but an opportunity for the Independents over the next 5-10 minutes. Maybe pull something from distance again and go after the goalkeeper.
Flips forward. Murphy looking to get on the end of it. Now looking for Presley, but Sabella tracking back, still fighting for it. Presley gets up to the end line, now across in the middle, but Miller's there. And Presley causing more and more trouble for Charlotte Independence.
And as high as the outside backs from Loudoun United like to get, this is a good look right there. Not a great ball back across, but you can see Jorge Herrera asking for it in transition. There is loads of space down in the channel, so if Brandon Miller can collect and get 3 or 4 guys to start running downhill immediately, that's an excellent option for the Independents.
Something to watch here tonight. Nyman now in the middle, getting by Herrera. Gets it all the way through here for Miller. Taken right back. Now Loudoun look to build once again. Gordon Wild and Presley getting into the attack again, but this time to the left side. Patient build up by Loudoun. Looking for Wild in the middle. Now it's Nyman. Nyman trying to get it to Gordon Wild once again. Instead into the hands of Brandon Miller. Miller has made 50 saves this season. Charlotte, North Carolina native. It's Hawkins who wins the battle there with Jackson to win possession back for Loudoun. Bustamante now, trying to play through the middle. Now it's Anking, trying to get it forward. It's cut out, now Herrera. Wide for Mansali. To the end line. A good sliding challenge by Nelson Martinez to clear it out. And a corner kick, but Mansali's still down.
Beautiful one-touch football being deployed here by Charlotte Independence. 3 crisp passes in the middle of the field. There's Isaac Anking, the 19-year-old on loan from New England Revolution. Just a great ball down into the channel, overrunning by Abdoulaye Mansali. And some great defensive efforts. Nelson Martinez immediately being called to action. He doesn't care that he's just 1 card away from suspension and accumulation. Don't always like to leave your feet if necessary, being a center back. If you're going to make absolutely certain you're going to get to the ball, that's what happens there.
Is that something you kind of keep in the back of your mind, that you're 1 yellow card away coming in?
It's something to think about. To be honest, at this point in time right now in the season, it's not going to creep in. However, you do get rewarded in this league. Multiple games in a row without a card, they'll pull one away. So it is something to think about, especially when maybe your opportunities are few and far between. Colin Verfurth had really stepped in quite nicely there. This could be his chance to cement his own self.
And it's headed on, but headed over. Still waiting for that first goal here at Segra Field tonight. Segra, with its industry-leading customer service and one of the East Coast's largest fiber networks, is powering organizations of all sizes with state-of-the-art voice, data, and internet services. Whether you're a municipality, a large business, or a fledgling startup, Segra knows you can't afford to be down. Their fast, reliable, and secure solutions keep you up and running and ahead of the pack. Looking to get Presley into the attack again. Here he is, the Austin, Texas native. Moses Nyman. He's 15 years old, but in these opening 19 minutes, he's been very calm on the ball. Trying to get it forward for Bustamante. It's cut out. Now it's Anking with plenty of room to work here in the middle.
Look at how tucked inside Gordon Wild is. He has the speed to recover. Once again, so much space on the outside that he's almost sitting right next to Carlos Alvarez.
Sabella, a low cross in, opportunity coming all the way through. The shot on the backside, and it's skied well out of play. Brown quickly puts it back in play. Something brewing here. Valentin Sabella getting in good spaces. Now maybe something brewing here for Loudoun on the other side. It's Nyman to collect. Played through, looking for Murphy. 5 goals for him this season. Takes a deflection. And Miller had his hand in the right spot. I'm not sure he knew much about that, but able to make the save. This game opening up just a little bit. It's been Loudoun on the ball for the majority. Now Gordon Wild. It's Presley to his left. Excuse me, to his right, but he misses wide left on the shot.
Another player catching the surface awkwardly. Gordon Wild on the left side of his body, trying to go from distance, similar to what we saw on the other end from Nicky Jackson. Just end-to-end stuff right now. Both teams trying to capitalize on what the other throwing at them. Charlotte Independence playing pretty impressively in the middle of the field. Quick one-touch soccer, and then going down into the channels, as we mentioned. That was going to be a good look for them. And Loudoun United not backing off, though, maintaining a lot of possession, and when Charlotte open things up, they go right back at them.
Played through for Sabella, but all the way to Calais Brown. And to your point about the surface, usually that's part of a home field advantage, but this is, I mean, the first game for Loudoun United. It's, I guess, a road surface, if you will, for both of these sides, getting used to it.
Notice that's one thing Ryan Martin didn't mention to us, was whether or not they were actually going to train on this or not. He said we'd be there, we'd take a look at the locker rooms, tour the venues. He did not say that they were actually going to get a chance to play on it. Yeah. So it's quite possible this is their first time outside of warm-ups that they've gotten the experience through an extended time frame to go through the motions on this pitch.
We'll see how that impacts the rest of this match tonight, and as Loudoun get used to it, because they'll be on it for 12 of the last 16 matches here in USL Championship play, and could become an advantage for them if it becomes a little bit disruptive. Now it's Presley. Gordon Wild again, cutting inside. Now switches the field. Header on, and not testing Miller in goal.
Orlando Sinclair has to be smarter here. Gordon Wild recognizes that with his little tuck in, he does have the space on the far side. Sinclair needs a shout here. That's where that mix of youth and veteran experience has to come into play. When either Wild is playing the ball or Kyle Murphy up top sees that it's coming, just tell the young Costa Rican, hold it up, allow Jacob Green to come over, or even Moses Nyman or Bustamante to rotate back over and help him out and support. Instead, just knocks it over, gives it away, and that's just so unnecessary in situations such as that.
It's played back here for Brandon Miller. Charlotte looked to build midway through this first half from Segra Field. Exciting night for everybody involved here in Loudoun County. We'll get more into the specifics of Segra Field at halftime. Charlotte now play it forward. Jackson knows he's in an offside position. Played over the top. Maybe something here. Back heel by Alvarez. Nobody was there. Good thinking there by Alvarez. He was basically on an island up there. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. Nelson Martinez now playing out of the back for Loudoun. There's been some opportunities for both sides. Still waiting for that opening goal here through the first 24.5 minutes. Actually feeling some pressure and plays it back for his center backs again. Right in the middle now for Gordon Wild. Plays it wide now. Sinclair dancing into the area. It's cleared away. Maybe an opportunity here for Charlotte to counter. Ball played over the top. Looking for Jackson. It takes him a little bit wide. Jackson's on it now. Gets to his right foot. Into the middle. A shot is blocked. There's Hawkins coming over. And a big deflection there by the center back. Nyman quickly the other way, but Anking wins it back. Had moments where this game has really opened up. Ball played to the far side, and offside is the call.
Really well done by the backline of Loudoun United not to panic as the Charlotte Independents were on the front foot there. Harry Hawkins just stands his ground. That's similar to what you saw out of Nelson Martinez on his tackle down in the corner. Hawkins just stands tall, allows the play to continue in front of him.
Here's Gordon Wild again. Cuts it back into the middle. Alvarez was waiting and never found him. And now he's able to retrieve it. Bustamante now. The patience being shown by Loudoun United here tonight as they build into this attack. Here's Nyman. And for Wild again, who's seen a lot of time on the ball here tonight. Alvarez trying to direct his teammates. It's taken back. Here's Herrera now. We've seen times where this match has been very open and other times where both these sides are content to build out of the back. Herrera gets it wide. It's Jackson. Herrera once again into the middle. A spin move. And taken away there by Bustamante. Both these sides have been using the flanks to their advantage. Building through the middle has been difficult. Here's Presley again. Now for Gordon Wild. "28 minutes gone here from Leesburg. One back by Sinclair. He switches the field. Presley will have to chase it down. Charlotte Independents, who have the 5th most passes in the USL Championship. And so far tonight, it's been Loudoun United. And have really been knocking it around.
Notice how the shape is starting to take a different one going forward for Loudoun United early on. Charlotte Independence had themselves spread quite thin on the outside. Valentin Sabella and Ephraim Taku on the right were a bit linear in their actions. They've started to now branch themselves back in. They're much more compact in the center of the field and not allowing the playmakers like Bustamante and Nyman getting involved going forward.
So it's played wide once again. Cut inside towards the back post. We'll go all the way for Presley on this near side now. Nyman across in. Headed up in the air. Mansali comes away with it. Sabella now on the ball, trying to get free of Presley. And patience works here for Charlotte. Jackson now. Switch of the field, and that's no good.
The back-to-back situations where they were able to get into those two guys. Bustamante on the first one on the far left, and then the second one, Moses Nyman, just at the top of the 18. And that's the balance that you're looking for if you're Loudoun. As soon as those guys are involved in the attack going forward and the ball makes its way to their feet, Charlotte then has to pull someone out of the center of the midfield. So not only are they pulling a defender out, there's then space in behind that allows guys like Carlos Alvarez and Gordon Wild to occupy.
It's played wide. Sinclair back to his right foot. The shot saved by Miller. Boy, he's been up to the task so far tonight. Loudoun United getting in good spaces here in the first half hour.
Not only is it a good save by Brandon Miller, but his ability to secure it. How many times have we seen a goalkeeper go to ground and spray this in a deflection to his left-hand side? Kyle Murphy was laying and waiting. It's really well done by the goalkeeper.
Been rotating in with Curtis Anderson, Manchester City loanee. Tonight it is Miller who gets the nod from head coach Mike Jeffries. Foul on the far side by the youngster Nyman. Charlotte an opportunity, if they so choose, to put one in the box. And a yellow card also issued to Moses Nyman. Luis Guardia going to his pocket for the first time tonight. And the midfielder into the book for Loudoun.
And there's definitely a movement going forward for the Charlotte Independents here in transition. That's going to influence the referee's decision. He's trying to come back across the body. There's no malintent, but he does clip that back left ankle of Jorge Herrera. And you wonder on the tail end of that if he kind of talked himself into it and forced the referee's hand. Regardless, ends up in the book.
Charlotte now setting up. Ball sent in. A pack of players still bouncing around. It's there and it's in! But no, the flag goes up. It was Nicky Jackson who pounced on it. With the flag up, and Charlotte stays off the score sheet for now.
Notice no arguments coming from anybody in a blue shirt. Well, the touch by Nicky Jackson. You have to wonder the question on this, because this takes a deflection of multiple Loudoun players. And the Nicky Jackson on the touch right there. Does it come off? Aaron Mond on the back line. The center back had come all the way up. The first look looked like it didn't. The second time around, almost assuredly off that left side of Aaron Mond, which would have been the 1-2 to Nicky and put him in an offside position.
It didn't take that slight glance. I think that would have been called a good goal. Unfortunate there for Charlotte. They will look to build forward again. Taken away, deflected around, and eventually falls for Miller. Distributes quickly down to Mansali. Throwing here for Presley. Last few minutes of this first half.
Like I've gone all the way through the back focus and the macro, and it doesn't get clear.
A long switch of the field, looking for Presley coming into the attack. And Sully, tough ball to deal with there for Miller, but he does nicely. Now Torreira.
That's
switching
really
the field.
impressive, huh? From the Charlotte Independents, started to step on you there, Josh. Just great ball movement coming out of the back by all the boys in blue. But again, unnecessary giveaways when they have crossed over midfield.
Looking for Murphy. I think he knew he was in an offside position. There's Mond on it now. Sabella, and nobody there in a blue jersey. Last time these two teams played, it was a 3-1 win for Loudoun United. We'll get to that in a moment. Here's Gordon Wild. Takes it in the box, being very patient with it. Low cross in, looking for Murphy. Calls for Bustamante, and it's blocked away. Still kept in, though, by Green. Now Alvarez, he'll take it on. And this one into the stands.
Bringing that up to Ryan Martin, asking him, you know, Ryan, you take a look back at that game on May 11th, 3-1 victory on the road. It's a great result for you guys, but how much do you go back and look at what was being deployed by the Charlotte Independents at that point in time? Of course, back then, Charlotte not in the best of form. That was prior to that 8-game unbeaten we talked about. Jim McGinnis still at the helm. And for Loudoun United, Richie Williams was still here. That was before he left to go to the New England Revolution. Ryan Martin, quite honestly, said not that much. It's not something that's of his interest, and I understand why. Two very different teams compared to over almost 3 months ago.
Sneaky Jackson's in the middle. The goal scorers on that night for Loudoun United: Presley, Pilato, and Codono. Only one of those players in the 18 tonight. It's Presley who's on the field. Codono now with Tormenta in USL League One on loan. Hanking now. Looks to play it wide. Torreira. The cross in. There was a pull of the jersey in the middle. It comes all the way through. And Presley comes away with it. I think a shout there for maybe a penalty. It's Presley now trying to get it forward for Gordon Wild, but it goes out of play.
You get an idea with Isaac Enking what he's capable of going forward. So many balls that have been put into dangerous areas. And just watch him. He's on the ball right now, but when he rotates back into the middle, he gets a quick little look over his shoulder. Always a step ahead of that back line. Putting the diagonal balls down in, allowing Valentin Sabella or even Jorge Herrera, who's rotated over onto the right-hand side, to get involved in this attack going forward. As we mentioned before, though, the Independents really struggling once they have crossed over midfield. Bit of poor decision-making. Mike Jeffries telling us that, you know, to be honest, we just haven't been as clinical as we'd like to compared to that 8-game unbeaten, going 4-0-4. That's resulted in the previous two results where they ended up on the short end of the stick.
Anking is fouled. We'll go back to Charlotte. Fans follow Loudoun United and the rest of USL League One, or excuse me, USL Championship all season long on ESPN Plus, home to the USL, MLS, UFC, and more. Join the over 2 million sports fans who've already discovered ESPN Plus and watch the championship live every week. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com. I guess you can also follow League One as well.
Pretty sure you read that in front of these boys, they'll have an issue with you.
Yeah, definitely. No, that was all me.
I'm not telling. You're safe with me. Your secret might be elsewhere, though.
Here's Mansali now on the near side. The cross in, and Brown will take that on a bounce. It's taken out of his hands, cleared off the line by Jackson. Another ball in, and it's Valentin Sabella. This one will count, and it's the first goal at Segra Field, and it comes from the visitors. And the first goal for Valentin Sabella in Charlotte colors.
Callie Brown furious with the referee's decision as he comes out here to try and grab this ball. The angle looked like it was just the one hand, and that's where he would have gotten himself in trouble. But Valentin Sabella, the player who led Florida Soccer Soldiers against the Charlotte Independents in the Open Cup, getting an opportunity after that beautiful run by the semi-professional team to step up to the next ranks and showcase himself. Young man who bypassed multiple offers in collegiate soccer, elected to stay home, went to FIU instead, taking classes there, and played with the local club. As this ball got played back across, there's the deflection off the goalkeeper. Taku then just tucks it right back across, and credit to Sabella, head on a swivel when this comes all the way back over. There's the first one in. That's the chance right there. I'll tell you what, studs up by Nikki Jackson. Did Callie Brown get both hands on it? It's really difficult to tell. Regardless, that man finally makes his mark on the offensive end for Mike Jeffries and co.
Making his second start for Charlotte here tonight. He finds himself on the score sheet and into the history books. The first goal here at Segra Field. And it's Charlotte who have scored it. Now it's Loudoun playing from behind here at home. They will look for a response here. It was Loudoun on the front foot early. But Charlotte now on the score sheet first. There's the goal scorer, Sabella, for Herrera. Sabella gets it back. Making another run forward, and this one, Brown will come out, catch that and squeeze it into his chest.
Valentin Sabella, he's got a great story in general. His father is none other than Alejandro Sabella, the former manager of Argentina. Of course, took them to the World Cup final back in 2014, but I like how this played out. So he was kind of the talking point next to Will Stamatis for Florida Soccer Soldiers and the team that took down the Charlotte Independents in the second round of the Open Cup. And recounting his experience after the game, he talked about running around, celebrating how everything was so crazy. And someone from the Charlotte Independents kind of walked up, little tug on the jersey, said, "Hey man, we're interested in you." Wanted to get his cell phone number. That guy, by the way, operations manager Augie Ruiz, who came over and just said that we were really interested, had to find a way to get in touch with them. They exchanged numbers, and he just said, you know, he was overwhelmed by the moment, didn't really think anything of it. Maybe something would come of it. A few days later, the phone rings. And then the next thing you know, after they end up bowing out in the Open Cup to North Carolina FC, he ends up in a blue jersey. That's what this game is all about. Beautiful opportunities that are put forth in front of you. And you young kids at home, maybe you don't take the traditional path, but you never know who's watching.
There's Presley across in, headed on. Still in the area. Now knocked down for Murphy. Kick save. Miller was there. Another ball in. And this one dealt with. Eventually cleared. And back to Sabella there for a moment. A really great story, and maybe something on here. And that might be a yellow card for the center back, Harry Hawkins. Luis Guardia calling him over. And there it is officially, a yellow card for Hawkins, but I think a challenge that had to be made.
Hawkins is just lucky that Nelson Martinez was deeper in this situation. You don't have to worry about a last man type rule. Professional foul nonetheless, as he knew there was daylight to be had from the streaking Charlotte Independents. Last thing you want to do is concede another one just before halftime. The air would really come out of this game for the home squad. Debut in your beautiful new stadium. Like to keep it shiny, at least for the time being, although they've got some work to do here.
The Englishman finds himself in the book. Second yellow card here tonight. It's Hawkins and Nyman in the book of referee Luis Guardia. Been opportunities tonight for Loudoun. They've yet to capitalize. Here's Yanking. Dummy there by Nikki Jackson, trying to turn the corner. Once again, losing his footing. Now it's Presley. Gonna get it back for Nyman. 2 minutes plus stoppage time until we reach halftime. Here's Sinclair. Able to keep possession for Loudoun. Bustamante now into the box. A shot on a turn, and this one well wide of Brandon Miller. through Valentin Sabella. An opening goal here at Segra Field. An assist given to Afrim Taku. Here's Mansali now. Taken away by Sinclair. Murphy's in the middle. And Bustamante at the top of the box. Deflected here for Murphy. And then unable to bring it out of the air. Jackson trying to hold play up here. And able to keep possession for Charlotte. Down the right flank. Here's Herrera now. Couldn't quite get it by Nyman. And Sinclair wins it back now for Loudoun. Hearing 2 minutes of stoppage time when it comes here in just a moment. Here's Presley now. Gordon Wild looking for some sort of space. Nyman flips it forward. Looking for Alvarez, but Miller on a dive. Able to make the save.
Aaron Mond's looking at the linesman, but maybe he should be looking at his other boys in the back line that allowed this space to open up for Carlos Alvarez. Also have to question why Alvarez didn't go with his head in this situation. Instead, likes to try and get his boot up pretty high.
Taken back now by Loudoun, played forward for Murphy. A bit of a heavy touch. Allowed Mond a chance to recover, and it's out for a Loudoun corner.
No need to overly rush in this situation. Gordon Wild, take your time. Just regain your composure. Probably going to be one of the last, if not the last opportunity just before halftime. Allow Harry Hawkins to come all the way up. You can get some of the bigger bodies involved here. Kyle Murphy is always going to be a target. Keep some eyes on the rotation of Orlando Sinclair. Sometimes they use the pick move and rotate him all the way to the back post. He's getting feisty in the middle right now.
The referee coming over is Aaron Mond and Sinclair, and Alvarez in the middle. The veteran trying to break it up. Roberts there as well. First corner of the night here for Loudoun United. As they look to make this one count. They talk things through. Where the captain making sure everything's good to go here with Luis Guardia. And now here's Gordon Wild, the outswinger towards the near post. It's cut out, but it's kept in. Maybe an opportunity now to catch Calais Brown off his line, and it's gone nowhere near Brown and out of play. Through the 2 minutes of stoppage time. As the whistle blows. There'll be another conversation with the referee. This one for George. Is Loudoun prepared to put this back in play? Maybe a chance to put one into the box. Martinez standing over it. What they elect to do here. It's the top of the box, flicked along. Miller off his line, on the rebound, Hawkins! And there's the moment for Loudoun. Just before halftime, the home side, their first goal at Segra Field.
I promise you, the Charlotte Independence fans are going to be furious looking at the clock, but it's the dust-up between Aaron Mond and Orlando Sinclair that adds this extra minute of padding to allow this opportunity to progress itself into such a dangerous situation. The challenge, of course, is quite far away, and the first one can't be put in. Great save by Brandon Miller. The second time he regains his composure, gets back up, and unfortunately just can't close his legs fast enough as Harry Hawkins, the center back, pushes all the way up and atones for his sins on that yellow card in the 42nd minute.
It's a night of firsts here at Segra Field, the opening night, and both goal scorers scoring their first goals of the season. Hawkins and Sabella. There is the final whistle. I think Charlotte talking now with the referee. Well, we head to halftime. We are level at 1 as it's Harry Hawkins canceling out the opening goal by Valentin Sabella here in first half stoppage time. But we head to the half. A whole lot to get to. We'll take you around the USL and tell you about this new stadium, Segra Field. It's 1-1 here on ESPN+. It is 1-1 at halftime between Loudoun United and Charlotte Independence. An exciting first half on the inaugural night here at Segra Field, the new 5,000-seat stadium here for Loudoun United. And it is part of a much bigger project between Loudoun United and DC United as well.
A great opportunity to continue on the culture growth here. 5,000-person stadium. It's going to host 8 luxury suites, and they see 24 each, but it's also got a lot else going on. The multi-year agreement with Segra Field, this fiber optic network company, on the naming rights for the stadium, and also going to host offices for the DC United Youth Academy. And you know, when you take a look at what it brings to the community, it's not just soccer. I actually like the article that came out in Loudoun Times and what they quoted and said, look, this is going to be a place where our community remembers for generations to come, where life events happen, and that it's such a special place. So it's not just about the team. That's the main talking point, but it's the opportunity to combine around the community, get a chance to push positivity here, and that's really what life's about, experiences and sharing it with your loved ones. So great opportunity for Loudoun United here and to continue on their partnership with DC United, just at a different venue.
And now it is Loudoun United. They've been all around. Ryan Martin called the team nomads, but they finally have a place to call their own.
As we are officially underway for the first time this season, and in their history, Loudoun United can call themselves the home side.
The first home victory for Loudoun United FC. Well, there is a happy manager in Ryan Martin.
20-year-old from Austin whips one in, and it's Murphy. Loudoun United equalize moments into the second half. Presley with a motor for days out on the right wing, and it's level at 2. The goal-scoring bonanza continues.
This is it. This is Loudoun.
You see, dynasties aren't bought.
They're built. And legacies aren't created. They're earned.
Waking up to the now or the never. Feel the walls closing in. I see the wolves now, they're circling around me. But I am hungrier than them.
Loudoun United's first goal in franchise history.
It's Loudoun. What a rip from Connor Presley. Oh, how's that for an equalizer?
And what a goal, the third of the season for Griffin Yao, and that is wow.
Murphy puts on a great move, and Kyle Murphy with a terrific individual effort for the first goal at home for Loudoun United in their inaugural season. Equalizer, 93rd minute, Orlando Sinclair.
We are Loudoun.
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 That was Loudoun.
We are united.
We are home.
Fortune can hit from here. Oh!
McCarthy once more.
Blasted back in, and it's a goal for North Carolina FC.
Big shot, and he scored! As Ben Spees lets one fly and drills it.
Where he didn't fit in with Bethlehem and really Philadelphia.
Prater lofting, header snap in. New Mexico to run away with it. Weehan stealing it now.
The ball. Fortune can hit from here. My! And how about North Carolina FC?
Chavez with Cooper, gets the return ball. Now Chavez to have a goal! What a strike from Ivan Chavez! His fourth of the year at Fresno FC.
Moto clipping it in towards the.
Oh, what a save! Sendejas in a second save!
Santos was in behind. Oh, that's the one. Toby had a ball and it's in front row. Don't stop it now. His second goal of the year has Pittsburgh. Back here at halftime at Segra Field, as Loudoun United 1, Charlotte Independence 1. An exciting 45 minutes on deck. But first, let's get around the USL Championship. Some news and notes from around the league, and it's all in the Western Conference. Can Phoenix Rising keep it going when El Paso Locomotive is back in action? And some heavy hearts for El Paso, but their ownership group contributing a big donation to the relief fund.
Obviously, all of our thoughts are out to that community and everything that they've had to go through recently. Some really nice stories on the back end of it in a positive manner coming out of what not only they've been able to do, but to be honest, the culture itself all around the USL Championship and around this nation. You see their San Antonio FC and their group making a donation to them as well. One of the new players, Sebastian Velasquez, got involved to help donate some items. And how about Corey Herzog and his run of form this year? Been nothing short of spectacular under Ian Russell for Reno 1868. A resurgence of what we saw him under Bob Lilly and Pittsburgh Riverhounds a few years ago. And of course, going forward, can Phoenix Rising continue on? Get number 13. That'll be against El Paso. Eastern Conference standing, though. Tampa Bay Rowdies still doing battle up top. Good for them. And there are the Pittsburgh Riverhounds down at number 8. Charlotte Independence on the outside looking in. Blue City finally back in the win column. Nashville going to have to find a way to recover. Michael Reed going down with a nasty injury. Thoughts out to him as well as he completed surgery. Dave Sarakin, kind of the feel-good story for the Eastern Conference this year. Former interim manager for U.S. men's national team, taking over North Carolina FC. Currently occupying the last playoff spot in the home venture.
But everybody is still chasing Tampa Bay there at the top. Take a look at what is upcoming. Gets going 1 Eastern tomorrow, where Hartford will host New York Red Bulls. Maybe a little Northeast rivalry brewing there. And the rest of the slate as well. And Tampa Bay at home hosting Birmingham.
And for me, the big one is this St. Louis FC Charleston Battery. Charleston Battery, the only team in the modern era to make the playoffs every single year. They've got a title to show for it as well. It's been the better part of a decade since that happened. However, struggling in form this year. Can Mike Anhauser get his boys back on track? I think this may be the year they get knocked off.
It's 1-1 though here at Segra Field. Highlights in the second half coming up next here from Leesburg, Virginia. Back here at Segra Field, we want to tell you the National Conference Center, home of Loudoun United FC, is a corporate training facility in Leesburg, Virginia. It hosts over 14,000 individuals per month and comprises 265,000 square feet of meeting space. The National contains 250 conference rooms, an athletic facility, commissary, and 917 guest rooms. As we get into the highlights from that first half, it ended 1-1. But it was Loudoun United early, and especially through Connor Presley.
Good moves on the right-hand side from Connor Presley. It was his ability to cut in, strikes from distance, two very similar. First one head-on at Brandon Miller. Second one trying to go towards the far post. Was really impressed with this young man. Isaac Anking said the loanee coming over from the New England Revolution, his ability to dictate the rate of play going forward, but also maintain the defensive shape. Connor Presley, again, there's that bulldog mentality down in the channel. Good ball back across. Brandon Miller recognizes it. Charlotte Independence start to make some changes. They find a way to make themselves compress on the defensive side and then explode going forward. Really saw some good opportunities coming out of them. And then You know, Loudoun, did they counterpunch? Not necessarily. They were some half chances. That was probably the best one out of Orlando Sinclair on the left-hand side, mimicking Connor Presley cutting in. And then, of course, the phantom goal. Here's what happens. We went back and took a long look at it. This is 100% offside. There's a touch that comes off of Aaron Mon. There it is right there, and it's the deflection as Nicky Jackson rotates back across offside of position. This, for me, is controversial. Here's why. Not only does Callie Brown have both of his hands on the ball, or at least close enough to it, it's right at the top of the 6, and Nicky Jackson leads with studs up. All three of those usually give protection to the goalkeeper. Referee does not agree. Well done on the follow-up, more importantly, by Valentin Sabella on the far post. He puts it in the back of the net. Not only does he give them the 1-0 lead, he gets his first goal in a Charlotte Independence uniform, but Loudoun would not be denied. There was the scuffle in the middle of the box between Aaron Mon and Orlando Sinclair. They bring it back around. Harry Hawkins on the doorstep gets it 1-1 in added extra time just before halftime.
And a couple of subs as well. You can see there in the foreground, Griffin Yao is on, fresh off competing with the United States under-17 side. And we are just about set to go here in this second half. It is 1-1. And will we find a winner here tonight? Nyman standing over it. We're underway here, the second 45 minutes from Segra Field. Both these sides will look to try to get after things here. Elvis Amo is on as well. With Sinclair coming off for Griffin Yao. So he gets a second 45 minutes here tonight. As Loudoun United will look to chase that winning goal. It is Kyle Murphy, though, coming off. As Ammo comes on. The only two subs, though, used by Loudoun.
For Kyle Murphy, just pretty stagnant in the first half.
Opportunity coming. It's Gordon Wild having a shot deflected. Nyman now. Griffin Yao has 3 goals on the season, 21 academy goals as well. Very used to putting it in the back of the net, and they will look to find that winner here tonight.
And that change makes perfect sense. Orlando Sinclair, we said that the best opportunity, not only for Loudoun coming down the stretch, for him outside of the goal was that strike where he cut in, but really wasn't involved in the run of attack very much going forward. So you bring Griffin Yao on in the second 45, looking for a spark plug on the left to counteract Alvarez and Gordon Wild, what they've been able to do going forward. Kyle Murphy just not impressive, unfortunately. Not what you've seen in the better portions of his play so far under Loudoun United, up top in that number 9 position. A guy that you really like to get the ball out in front of him, or at least get hold-up play. They were able to do neither. He just didn't get a lot of passes to him. Only 5 in the first half. That was 50% less than the lowest number on his team. Other guys pushing 30 and 40 numbers going forward.
Be something coming here for Loudoun. It's quickly cut out. Now a race for it. Foul committed. It looks like that was Johnson getting there just a little bit late. It was Jacob Green going down, and a yellow card for Joel Johnson.
We said there needed to be balance for Griffin Yao, as well for Jacob Green. Connor Presley quite active. I don't mind it when you rotate one up, you can let the other sit, but you do not want to become predictable in your actions. Good look to push the Maryland native nice and high in the offensive threat.
Ball sent in towards the near post. Oh, they were looking for Yao there. He just couldn't flick it along. Instead, it goes out here for a corner kick. Yao and Ammo on. So all 3 subs waiting to be used by Mike Jeffries and Charlotte Independence. Here's Gordon Wild on the corner. It was Ammo who got up for it. Unable to make a clean connection, though. The shot on the follow-up. And Miller is there. So lights fully into effect as we start this second half. As Valentin Sabella in the 38th minute. This goal canceled out by Harry Hawkins. Bustamante now coming forward. To keep possession, looking for Alvarez. And taken away. Sabella now. Taken away by Wild. Connor Presley now. Been charging up and down that right flank all night long. Alvarez on the follow. And skies it.
Carlos Alvarez, forget goal of the week. He's going for the human highlight reel on this one. Puts this on frame. That's all the accolades you could ask for. Go-ahead goal for his team. Second one in your inaugural match against what's into a little bit of a rivalry. The opportunity to talk with one of our producers earlier. He was talking about the proximity between these two squads.
Yep.
Interesting conversation and what could be some fun matches going forward.
Now Alvarez. Much like the first half, it's Loudoun coming out on the front foot to start this second 45 minutes. Inaugural night here at Segra Field. Alvarez plays it wide. Presley, it's taken down, gets back on his feet to the end line. The cross in, it's cut out by Roberts. An advantage was played, and it looks like a yellow card being shown. It goes to Aaron Mond. It looks like it will be a corner kick now for Loudoun. Charlotte saying it should be a throw-in. I think they're right. Connor Presley there to throw this in. Another Charlotte player into the book. The end line once again. It's in by Mansali. Now Anking. Looking to advance it upfield. Some room to run now. Anking now gets it wide. Back into the middle, taken away by Yao, who is tracking back in defense. Lyman in the middle. A missed touch gives it back. Sabella. Taku now. Taku. There's Herrera, low cross in, it's deflected back. Calais Brown is there. A lot going on with Loudoun United this weekend, opening up this new stadium. Ribbon cutting ceremony. Ryan Martin says it's been a fun celebration. Everyone is excited. I wanted to prepare as normal. Keep normalcy around this match. Here's Gordon Wild, takes it on. And once again, skies it in the luxury boxes behind this goal.
Gave a lot of credit to the buildup by the Charlotte Independents in the first half. If you're Ryan Martin, this is exactly what you want to see out of your squad. Carlos Alvarez started this real deep. That's your number 10, coming about 30 yards from goal. He picked up, then created some space with the long ball into Avasamo in the middle of the field. Moses Nyman, Antonio Bustamante in the rotation going over. Finally, your outside midfielder pulling the trigger.
Herrera, second opportunity here on the cross. Towards the top of the box, Sabella. He was there, unable to find a teammate. Ammo now. In the middle for Wild. He's had a lot of time on the ball here tonight. He's dispossessed by George. Herrera once again. Through the middle, Griffin Yao tracking back. And the youngster has been very active here in his first 8 minutes on the pitch. U17's training in Los Angeles the past few weeks. Some friendlies as well against Los Dos and Orange County. Aaron Cervantes getting called into the U17 side and playing against his own team. Now it's Griffin Yao. There's 3 goals this season. Wild unable to get on the end of it. Waiting our first substitution for Charlotte in just a moment, but here's Gordon Wild. Plays it wide. Presley, the cross in. Ammo is there, still there, off the post. Brandon Miller, not sure he knew much about it. And luckily the post stood in the way.
Doesn't know anything about it. I mean, watch this. Just stares at it the entire way down. Samo, the talking point about him is his versatility and how he can make something out of nothing. What a better representation than the tiniest of windows in or around the 6-yard box. Just making something out of nothing.
Quick attack coming here for Charlotte. Valentin Sabella. It's knocked out of play. And that will be the last touch of the ball tonight for the goal scorer, Valentin Sabella. But a night that he will not forget. His first USL Championship goal. And it was the first goal in Segra Field history. And it will be Dominic Oduro to come on.
And hold his head high, did very well for himself. Obviously, you appreciate the individual accolades when you can go out and grab a goal for your squad like that. I promise you right now, his thoughts are going to be with his manager and his boys going forward. Can they find a way to get back out in front of Loudoun United? Of course, Dominic Oduro, known for all of his appearances with the likes of San Jose, primarily, but Montreal Impact, Toronto, Columbus Crew, Chicago Fire. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Guy's got ridiculous pedigree. But can he provide some sort of assistance going forward for the Charlotte Independents? About 35+ go.
6 goals and 2 assists so far in this 2019 campaign. Play will be brought back here. The player down right at midfield. And asking for the trainers. Looks like that is the substitute, Elvis Ammo now, who is on the surface and needing assistance. Nearly scoring a worldie just a few moments ago. Another look at it.
It's actually the follow through by his own player, Carlos Alvarez, with his knee, not the initial challenge coming from center back Hugh Roberts of the Charlotte Independents. And the follow through of the leg, looks like it caught him just on the head a little bit. You can see the trainer having a conversation now with Elvis. I'm sure both Ryan Martin on the sideline as well as his assistants, Jason Box and Luciano Emilio, just having a conversation amongst themselves and say a change does need to be made. Hopefully that doesn't head in that direction. So he gets back to his feet and get an opportunity to get back in. Just gets his bell rung a little bit.
Look at the crowd there. And the Premier League getting going here this weekend. Chelsea, Manchester United, and Liverpool all represented in the crowd tonight.
Only one of those jerseys matters. The one on the far right. We all know better than that. Don't say a word, Josh.
I was going to say there's one missing.
For a reason.
As Ammo makes his way off. Substitute just coming on at halftime. We'll see if he can continue, but Loudoun down to 10 men, at least for the moment. Ball played forward, Gordon Wild. Duro tracking back. It's Wild still on the ball. Now Green on the near side. Here's Griffin Yao cutting inside. Griffin Yao, a long run, flipping it into the corner. Duro is there. Look at this deflect off of last. It's off the Charlotte Independence player. And a corner kick now for Loudoun.
It's really similar to the goal that he scored to open his account for Loudoun United against Memphis 901 FC earlier on this season. Quick little touch in, pull the trigger. Unfortunately, had to take a couple extra, hoping that the space in front of him would open up, and form just failed down the stretch of things. He still get a corner out of it.
It's Gordon Wild to take. All sent in, but cleared away. Bustamante now gets it wide. Looks like Emo now coming back on. The bottom part of the screen. It's Jackson and Yao fighting for it. As the whistle blows, and Emo, he came back on and he fell right to the ground. That might be all she wrote for Emo. Halftime substitute might be forced off here in the 60th minute. Pounds the surface. And Ryan Martin will now have to make another substitution. And it looks like it will be Christian Sorto. Coming over after 4 years with Baltimore Armor. 43 goals in 69 games, already 2 goals here in this campaign. It is Sorto to come on. And then for Elvis Emo, cut short. Few stoppages here in the past few minutes. And we get back to it.
The look going forward going to change now for Loudoun United with Elvis stepping off. Christian Sorto, primarily a wing player that likes to move over. You can see him going over to that right side, and you just wonder if the way this will take shape now, Gordon Wild will most likely go down into the midfield, play the 10 with Carlos Alvarez playing up top. They could also go too flat and just change it a little bit, play side-by-side strikers, though I would imagine the way that they're set up and where they've had the most success, they're really going to need a true number 10 playmaker, and that's exactly what they're doing. Carlos Alvarez will play in the lone number 9 position, with the German just sitting probably at any given time about 5-10 yards underneath, trying to be the playmaker.
So we'll see how that changes the attack for Loudoun. Now these players adapt. Charlotte has just used that 1 sub, but there's Loudoun now out of substitutions. Still with a decent amount of this game left. Lead forward, Alvarez. It's Roberts to kick it back to his goalkeeper. Johnson has it dispossessed.
For Mike Jeffries, with all the energy they had to expend in the first half, sitting in that deep block and then exploding going forward, you have to imagine that with fresh legs coming in the likes of Griffin Yao and Christian Sorto on the outside for Loudoun, he might go for a wing player as well.
He comes wide, Taku, an opportunity. Here's Herrera, and he makes no mistakes. And Charlotte Independence back out in front. The 6th goal on the season for Herrera. And 2-1 to the roadside.
With everything being said on the previous comment, it's hard to pull off a guy when he sets up your club's goal scorer in the likes of Jorge Herrera. Watch Taku on the far side. There's Isaac Anking, said that all of his passes going forward have been so vital to this team going after this Loudoun United defense. Lovely ball in behind the backside and his ability to cut it back. And how about Jorge Herrera? Takes his time. Good little touch out in front of him. Could have gone low, could have gone near post. Instead, sees the space opening up on the far side. Callie Brown cannot react to the far post quick enough, and the visitors are once again back out in front.
And another assist for Afrim Taku tonight, the Albanian. And Charlotte Independence have to be happy. Mike Jeffries. And Charlotte Independence back out in front. Now that new look attack after the 3 substitutions in the first 15 or so minutes of this second half will have to make an impact.
Remember, I know it was just before halftime, but when they scored in the 38th minute off that beautiful goal by Valentin Sabella, they let their guard down a little bit and let Loudoun get back into the match. Keep an eye on that next 5-6 minutes. How does your team now react? Not only being out in front, but if you're Ryan Martin, can you get your boys going again? You've fallen behind here. Give this something, the crowd something to cheer about.
Now it's Loudoun trying to chase this match. It's the first match tonight at Segra Field, and I don't want it to go down in the history books with an L next to it. There's Griffin Yao. Bustamante. It's a wide here for Gordon Wild. Bustamante now, looking for space, Akurlo! Oh, that's a tremendous goal! Antonio Bustamante! He levels it up just moments after Charlotte takes the lead. His second goal on the season, and boy, did it come at a good time.
When you talk to Ryan Martin, you wondered why had this guy not hit the score sheet yet leading into that July 28th game against Lou City. That would all change. He has so much talent going forward. And just watch it. We talked about the patient on the other end by Jorge Herrera. I'm going to one-up you right now with Antonio Bustamante. Recognizes that there's loads of space. Goalkeeper Brandon Miller already cheating to the near post, expecting it to come back across his body. Instead, Antonio Bustamante says, you're going to give me that much space? I promise you, I will make you pay. And it will come in the form of a game-tying goal just moments after the Independents jump back in front.
Bustamante onto the score sheet. And now we're back level. Back and forth we go tonight here at Segra Field. It's been Loudoun coming from behind twice now tonight. Now can they find a game-winning goal? At least a goal to take them ahead for the meantime. Now how will Charlotte respond? Long ball played over the top. And Solly was in an offside position. Here's Presley. Bustamante. Gets it wide. There's Griffin Yao. Yao trying for maybe something similar. Gets it right back from Sorto. Griffin Yao. Shot deflected. Nyman. Comes wide for Green. Here's the goal scorer once again, Bustamante. Maybe something similar. Johnson was not going to let him find space. Griffin Yao now. Trying to slip it inside for Presley. Good possession here for Loudoun United, keeping the pressure on after that goal. Gordon Wild. Looking for Connor Presley now. Plenty of room to work into the middle. Christian Sorto comes away with it. Now Presley on his left. Taku heads it away. And as far as Green. And the pressure staying on here for Loudoun. Alvarez now. For Green. Trying to slip it inside. Yao will keep possession. It took a deflection and right into the hands of Brandon Miller.
Independent's got to be careful here. A massive amount of momentum for Loudoun United right now. Not pulling off the throttle after that beautiful goal by Antonio Bustamante. If you're Mike Jeffries, just got to hold your breath a little bit here. Plenty of time to get back into this match. But that was the 8th time this season that when the Charlotte Independents have scored a goal, they've then succeeded in the next 10 minutes. And that's not a look that you want for your squad. You want to make sure that all of that positive energy that you have continues forth. Instead, you saw them immediately go into a defensive shape, and they've really struggled to get out of it.
Gordon Wild gets dispossessed, maybe a chance to run here. Oduro leading the charge. Herrera wide. The cross back in. Oduro into the corner, and it's Charlotte now back in front. Back and forth we go, but it's Dominic Oduro's 7th goal on the season, and it takes the Independents 1 goal up. Don't look away, end-to-end action.
Pretty sure that answers the call right there. Are they up for it? Why not? Jorge Herrera, beautiful goal scored for the 2nd one for Charlotte Independents. This time around, distribution for the Colombian, just finding Oduro floating to the far post. That's what you want out of him. 3 goals in the span of 7 minutes within this match. And sometimes you just need a little kickstart to get you back into it. Why not come within the form of Dominic Oduro, a guy who just continues to score. 7th goal in the season in his 23rd appearance. The Dominator back in action.
And a sub on will be Nicky Jackson coming off. It'll be Zion Jones on. Clarkson, Georgia native. And now once again, it's Loudoun playing from behind. Every time they've equalized, they have then conceded. But a foul here. And a set piece opportunity for Loudoun. We're into the final 20 minutes. There are the 3 goals. Sabella, Herrera, and then Oduro. And on the other side, it's been Hawkins and Bustamante. If Loudoun want a result tonight, they'll need to find a 3rd. Christian Sorto, here's Presley now. He's really worked his way into the attack. Here's Green. Bustamante now once again. Flipped inside, off his head. Wild, trying to follow it up. He keeps possession, goes down to the box. The referee waves it away. Now it's Zion Jones, maybe something here for Charlotte on the break. Anking goes down. Alvarez now. Griffin Yao. Well, you can't look away. Now Presley teeing it up on the left. And out of play. And Anking is down on the pitch. Once again, Connor Presley has been very instrumental tonight as Anking gets stretched out here.
Things going back and forth, and with the shift that he's having to be put in, not surprising that asking for a bit of stretching, some possible cramping for Isaac Anking in the middle of the field. He's put in a heck of a run. Just on the tail end of it when that challenge comes in. And a question mark for Loudoun United is, was that a penalty on Gordon Wild? It's trailing away from the net. That's going to be in the referee's mind first and foremost. And secondly, was there any simulation involved with it? And this is where I always ask that question to most people, where if you're not going to blow a penalty and you think that it is actually him going to ground, why don't you back it up with a card? Because that's how we should reinforce this behavior. We haven't gotten another look at it yet, and that's fine. But as the referee, he's done a pretty good job managing this. Exactly what we're talking about. Gordon Wilde, Hugh Roberts, little touch out in front. The back heel gets clipped a little bit, but it's hard to tell if it's his left foot or if it's Hugh Roberts' knee from that angle. Referee had a really good view, so give credit to Luis Guardia in his decision making. But as I mentioned, if it's not a penalty and he's telling him to get up, he's saying it's simulation. So you got to pick one here.
But if he trips over his own leg like he might have, and you give a yellow card, that's obviously a little bit harsh. Ball sent in, all the way through now. Griffin Yao back across and deflected out for a corner.
You're spot on there, and I'm going with the referee just barking at Gordon Wilde a little bit. We're obviously simulating what we think he said compared to what may or may not have happened on the field for Gordon Wilde. That's a great third side of things. How about their new sighting?
It's Ricardo Bocanegra now to come on, and it will be Anking to make way. A good run for Anking here tonight. It will be the former Mexican under-23 player, formerly of the New York Cosmos, signed yesterday and into the side here tonight.
I saw him earlier this season in the lead up to US Open Cup. New York Cosmos people are actually taking on Hartford Athletic, and he wasn't able to make a massive impact there, but a talented youngster nonetheless.
Header on the corner, and it's cleared away.
And I say that, I understand people are gonna be like, oh, he's 30 years of age, but though it's the way that he plays. He's got so much energy behind him and really does a good job moving side to side. Everybody that takes a look at him always sees that the amount of movement he puts on the ball and his ability to really put all the miles on the odometer turns back time, and you can see him running around like a youngster in the likes of Griffin Yao or Bustamante. That young exuberance of energy put forth by young professionals, still very present in Bocanegra.
Johnson has to be careful too, getting a talking to already on a yellow. There's Hawkins. Martinez will keep it in play. 15 minutes left. And Loudoun trying to make this a memorable night here on the opening night of their new Segra Field. Now Charlotte look to build forward again. It's wide here for Taku. Now Jones. Zion Jones. And dispossessed by Nyman. 15-year-old, a nice play. And he gets fouled. Get updates and alerts all year long by following your club on ESPN.com. Search for Loudoun United and then click the follow button to keep up with the latest news and scores. Plus get reminders on Loudoun United's next home match. Go to ESPN.com now and click follow for your club. And another foul. And Luis Guardia will have a word with Jorge Herrera. One of the 3 goal scorers tonight for Charlotte. Handball in the middle by Bustamante. He knew it right away. Tune in to ESPN News on August 21st at 4 Eastern time for a Wednesday night soccer matchup between 2 of the best in the East. North Carolina FC welcomes in Eastern Conference leaders Tampa Bay Rowdies with playoff positioning battles heating up. See it all August 21st at 4 Eastern time on Wednesday night soccer on ESPN News.
Obviously, the opportunity is still here for Loudoun United. And we're not going to take into account the statistics of tonight's game. It would kind of skew the number we're about to throw at you. But with 25 goals hitting the back of the net for Loudoun leading into this match, only 6 of them have come in the final 15 minutes. And this is a team down the stretch that has needed some equalizers and even go-ahead goals they have not been able to find, given the opportunities to the likes of Christian Sordo, Griffin Yao, guys who have fresh legs. Can you then go out and grasp that and make, the most of it going forward? You've got some talented individuals in Gordon Wilde and Carlos Alvarez up top. Use that to your ability, but play off of them as well. You've got some tired legs on the back line of the Charlotte Independent. Start running at these guys.
It's Presley again. Becoming more and more active in this match Cross sent in, a header, and it's in! Carlos Alvarez, and another equalizer tonight for Loudoun United. Alvarez's first goal for Loudoun United, and it couldn't have come at a better time.
Said you really had to take into account the one-on-one matchups and go after them a little bit, especially the boys on the back line. Mansali on the left side, Aaron Mon and Roberts in the middle. And there's the one-on-one we talked about. Kevon George just rotating back over. He's put in a heck of a shift in the middle of the field, but those tired legs cannot keep up with Christian Sorto. He's got the trailing run by Carlos Alvarez, who just jumps to the near post. Sorto puts it on a platter. Alvarez puts it in the back of the net.
Ryan Martin says he's still getting back to full fitness, but a great mentor for a lot of these younger players. And a big equalizer here tonight is now it's Loudoun United back level, and now trying to find a winner. A bevy of goals in the last 20 minutes. Looking for Gordon Wild, Bustamante. Eventually finds Wild, he tees it up, and it's Miller down to his right. Plenty of opportunities tonight for Gordon Wild. Unable to find the back of the net so far. Player down for Loudoun United. 26 shots to just 9 of Charlotte. Of those shots have been on target of the 26. Chances have been there. Looks like it's Jacob Green who is down on the turf. Segra, with its industry-leading customer service and one of the East Coast's largest fiber networks, is powering organizations of all sizes with state-of-the-art voice, data, and internet services. Whether you're a municipality, a large business, or a fledgling startup, Segra knows you can't afford to be down. Their fast, reliable, and secure solutions keep you up and running and ahead of the pack. It is Green back to his feet. The Crofton, Maryland native, the DC United Academy.
That is an interesting limp coming off the field. You have to remember that Ryan Martin has no substitutions left for him with the injury to Alva Samoa earlier on. Orlando Sinclair gone off when Griffin Yao comes on. Christian Sorto, and then rotation after Kyle Murphy came off. He had to come in for the injured Alva Samoa. About 8 minutes plus to play here. You lose an outside back. You wonder how this is all going to play out. You immediately see Carlos Alvarez showing that veteran leadership, dropping to the back to help things move along. Until then,
just scored that equalizing goal a moment ago. All of the goals coming in this latter half of the match. The Hawkins goal just before halftime, and you said it right after the goal. Maybe a little bit too late in that first half for when it was scored and the stoppage time given, but it's a moot point at this point.
You could look at it from a multitude of ways. It's, wow, the great responses by Loudoun United to come back in after the Charlotte Independents get the go-ahead. On the reverse side of things, you're the Charlotte Independents. Gonna feel a bit stung on this one. Getting out in front and then conceding, and vice versa, and just how is it all gonna react? It's a night of first so far. The first match, of course, for Loudoun United. Segra Field, beautiful. You get the first goals in the red shirts for the likes of Harry Hawkins. Carlos Alvarez just now with third goal in the night for Loudoun United. Assists in the likes of Christian Sorto, Gordon Wild. Even the DC United player on loan with Loudoun gets his first assist. Same thing for the visitors. Valentin Sabella, the feel-good story coming out of the opening cup gets his first for Charlotte Independence. Taku would rack up 2 on that right-hand midfield position in the form of an assist, and more recently, Colombian Jorge Herrera. He got the second goal of the night and his first assist on the season after the beautiful header on the far post by Damaduro.
Now is there a winner? And a 7th goal here tonight, or maybe more. It's Johnson now. Can he get it upfield? Hawkins gets his head to it. Jones now. Jones gets around Alvarez. But it's Alvarez tracking back in defense. Able to take it away, and then Yao puts Johnson on the turf. Here comes Griffin Yao. Nyman now charging forward. Opportunity coming for Gordon Wild, and a great save by Brandon Miller, and out for a corner. Boy, Wild has been so close on so many occasions tonight, but denied again by Miller.
He wanted this one right on the near post. See the shake of the head? He uncorks this. Look at this, locked and loaded near post. If he could just pull this a bit closer in proximity to that beautiful white bar away from Brandon Miller, this ends up in the back of the net. Still a tall task for the goalkeeper that gets the answer right.
The corner sent in there by Wild. And a player down, and referee Luis Guardia immediately asking for the trainers to come out. Looks like that is George that is down. Native of Trinidad and Tobago. Last played for the Jacksonville Armada. He will pick himself up.
That was one of the other things we haven't brought up for the Charlotte Independence international spots as well. He was often Gold Cup for his country. And just going down, we saw Samo go down with the head injury early on, and tough to tell in traffic the knock that he took, but you could see immediately guys on the back line asking for their trainer Cam Hillis to come out and just take a look to their fellow compatriot Mike Jeffries, their manager, wondering with minutes to spare in this game, do they have another one in them? End-to-end stuff pretty much all game, to be honest. Maintained some quality defensive shape in the first half. That came back to bite them as the equalizer were coming, and back and forth ever since.
There will be a drop ball. Charlotte will give it right back to Loudoun. There's 3 minutes plus stoppage time left as George jogs back on. This one goes out of play. Nice catch by Mike Jeffries to get it back in play quickly. Herrera now for Taku, who has 2 assists on the night. Jones. It's a wide for Bocanegra, the cross in, and it's cut out by Hawkins. Johnson now, going to get around Yao, and he does just that. Yao, though, tracking back. This ball out of play, and it will be a corner kick for Charlotte. Is there a winner in the cards tonight?
Still some great defensive work put in by Griffin Yao. Everybody knows him for his technical ability going forward in the attack. But doing battle with Joel Johnson down in the corner. Joel Johnson, one who's known for being fleet of foot. Griffin Yao going toe for toe the entire time.
We'll wait the corner now. In the middle, good opportunity there. Taku on the follow. And it's blocked by Griffin Yao, who will chase after it. Green is now finally back out on the pitch here for Loudoun. They were down to 10 men for quite a while. Here's Jones now, trying to slip it inside. Herrera took his time. Another cross sent in. Took a minute deflection there. Oduro now trying to find that far post. And out of play. A great opportunity for Herrera, though.
With all the decision-making that he's gotten right here in the second half, what is running through his mind? Massive amounts of space and time. I mean, you could sit down, have a cup of tea, and still put this in the back of the net. Instead, he takes the long route. Still love the ball, floated back in on the tail end of this, but 1, 2, 3, it just continues on and on and on. You cannot allow yourself to be closed down in that situation. Credit to Carlos Alvarez, who was able to get a little nudge on the Colombian going forward. But if you're Jorge Herrera, that is an opportunity wasted.
Sorto tracking back and wins it back. Now it's Loudoun trying to build something here into the 90th minute. Here's Presley. Bustamante now. Looks to get it wide. Sorto. And the shot will go wide.
A lot of frustrated boys in red shirts on the decision by Antonio Bustamante to knock it back over to the far side. You had Gordon Wild, Griffin Yao, Carlos Alvarez, all more than happy to get involved in this good run of play they've had.
The Ortho Virginia stoppage time is 5 minutes. Jones coming in. This come off last. And it looks like a corner kick for Charlotte. Good opportunity coming on the last corner kick just a few moments ago for the Independents.
Just in the foreground a second ago at top of the 18, Ephraim Taku asking Zion Jones to slow things down. Jones, still quite young in age, shown a boatload of talent in his young career so far, but that one got away from him a little bit. Taku was right. If he just steps on this, he'll then have multiple decisions to make. He can play right or cut inside and go himself. They still get a corner out of it.
All sent in towards the back post, headed on! Calais Brown, what a save! The hometown boy might have just saved at least a point here for Loudoun.
Quality response by the Indians player, Dom Oduro. Watch him on the tail end of this. He knows how good of a save it is. He turns around, slaps a little high five. Kevon George is going to be robbed. Calais Brown go over to him immediately after the game and apologize for how good of a save this is to keep his team in it.
And another corner now coming for Charlotte. And Solly will take this. Another ball in. Herrera got his head to it. It's still there. Now it's finally cleared. Miller will come out and retrieve it.
If you're Loudoun, you got to push a higher line right now. Relieve some of this pressure. Too many blue shirts floating into your defensive third right now. A lot of opportunities for the Independents down this stretch.
Offside is the call. Bustamante will put it in play quickly. Played wide, Gordon Wild. Still Wild. He's dispossessed. And then a push in the back will give it back to Charlotte. Halfway through the minimum of 5 minutes here at the end of this match. And boys, it's been an entertaining match, especially here in the second half. 4 combined goals after it was 1-1 going into halftime. Now with 2 minutes left, is there a winner tonight? Bocanegra over the top. Here's Herrera. Herrera will take it on, looking for that top corner. And it goes high. All he can do is shrug.
More cramping on the back line for Loudoun United. Jorge Herrera had Zion Jones on the right side and felt like maybe he could replicate just a bit further away the beautiful strike we saw earlier on this match. We check all the way back to Calais Brown, and I'm sure the story's been told before. Just 27 years of age, and what seems like he's been around in his professional career for so many years now. Of course, the local, you mentioned, Loudoun City High School. Initially got the opportunity as a professional back in 2015 with Pittsburgh Riverhounds, time with Houston Dynamo on loan with RGV as well. And most recently, the Sounders organization, but this is a guy back in college who actually quit the University of Virginia because he wasn't getting enough playing time.
Bustamante now for Sorto. Low cross in, looking for Yao. And he couldn't quite steer it on frame. And that might be the last opportunity for Loudoun into the last minute of stoppage time.
Thank goodness that Callie Brown did, of course, come back for the Cavaliers. Not only did he come back and play well, won the national championship back in 2014, was actually the defensive MVP of that College Cup. Similar efforts being employed tonight, hoping that some of his boys going forward can replicate some beautiful movements we've seen in the offensive third, put one more in the back of the net and get 3 points.
It's Bustamante now for Gordon Wild. Back to his right foot, Gordon Wild! And he just couldn't get enough bend on it. And that might be the last attacking moments in this match, but what a 90 minutes plus it has been for Gordon Wild.
Tell me you cannot feel the pain coming out of him right now. With his ability to have the wherewithal, many a person would have just let this fly on the left foot, but he's still got enough fortitude to pull it back and have a go. Just can't put it on frame and beat Brandon Miller.
And there is the final whistle on the inaugural night here at Segra Field. The points are shared, and it's 1 point for Charlotte and Loudoun. And tonight's final score is brought to you by Segra, and it reads Loudoun United 3, Charlotte Independence 3. Devin Kerr, what'd you take out of this one?
Perfect. This is what it should have ended like. Both teams deserving of what they put forth and got out of it. No one truly willing to jump out in front and grasp the 3 points. Every single time you felt like the momentum was with one squad, there was a response from the other. Hats off to an impressive performance by both these teams. Both Ryan Martin and Mike Jeffries will have some positive talking points coming out of this one.
An exciting match this was. Let's get to tonight.
Everything at the death for Charlotte Independence. He would be denied by Callie Brown. There were some defensive mistakes, yes, of course, but a lot of positive talking points, as I mentioned, for both of these squads. A response for almost everything. It ends as it should, tied, knotted up at 3. Well-collected point for each of these teams.
Tonight's stats are brought to you by Segra. Look at that possession and look at all those shots for Loudoun United. But as it ends, 3 goals apiece. And both teams head home with just a point. So that is going to do it tonight. It was a memorable night in terms of goal scoring on the opening night of Segra Field, but it ends with Loudoun United and Charlotte Independence sharing the points. And that is going to do it. It was an exciting night at Segra Field. For our entire crew, Devin Kerr, I'm Josh Eastern. So long from Leesburg, Virginia, and Segra Field.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.